And what it means to you and what you want it to mean and how you are being within that space. Did you have any of your sheets?
Right, afternoon everybody, how are we doing? Good. Are we all learning something today? I mean, because one of the things we've been talking about in terms of the member experience is as an individual, when other people share their ideas and their journeys. I mean, listening to Simon today, I mean, for me, just gave me such a depth on who you are, what you're about, and we've had quite a lot of conversations to hear all that. It's a real privilege for you to share that. But it's such a contribution to us to share that. And the meetings evolved. I don't know if some of you were probably around really early days. The early meetings were, you know, we did an introduction. It was 3 hours of me and a bit of Jill sharing this idea of collaboration. We read the vision and mission every session, and and somewhere along the way it got where it's not the Erkan Ali show, and so we said, okay, fine. Why don't you contribute your talent and experience? And other things started to happen, like the Be Inspired program started to kick in, and suddenly people, for me, my experience of it, suddenly people like Andrew are waking up to the opportunity here. And then, you know, you'd hear the conversation, the shift in people, and we start to see that journey. And those who've been through Be Inspired, the orientation, and visiting the meetings and start to develop your relationships, I think you've all experienced that. So Know and Be Known was about transference of knowledge and getting to understand people's specialist areas and understanding them maybe professionally. The Genius Slot was that thing you do, or the way you look at the world that just makes sense. You know, has anyone heard of Seth Godin? There's a book called The Icarus Deception. He talks about your art. And you know when it's your art, you do it and you say it and you go, and that's how you do it. And people are like, well, hold on a minute. So, you know, but for you it's natural, it's abundant, and you're great at it. And you don't realise how much talent you have. For somebody else, it's like, I didn't understand even what he said, or what she said. And how'd you do that again? And we forget that we have those talents. We forget we have those arts. And we forgot that some of the things that we do day in, day out, that we don't even think about, for some people in this room are complete revelation. It make a big difference. We could just say, I'll just go along, collaborate, and you go, yeah, where do I start? How do I do it? And it kind of forced. It kind of led us down a path. It's like, well, let's start showing people how we do it. Not right, not wrong, agree, don't agree. Some of you will probably go, well, duh, obvious, and some people will be revelation. So I started to put together a document, and something we're developing further, and it's within the British Standard framework, is how do you collaborate? And we started that ball rolling, and we're going to be doing more seminars and workshops on it to enhance the collaborative outcomes. Because quite often, in the early days, we used to get that question, didn't we? So where have you collaborated? What they meant is, where have you earned money doing this? Do you know what I mean? Covertly, because we said there's 3 pillars to this organisation: as the member experience, the self-development as a person, as an individual, and taking that knowledge and going and using it elsewhere, and the relationships and the friendships and the knowledge. And then there's the commercial side. How do we start to deliver to businesses and organisations and charge for our skill sets? So it is commercially viable within BeColl as well. And then how do we create our foundation where we can take those skill sets and make a difference to different communities and organisations where there aren't budgets, where we can, one of our dreams, Jill and I's dream was that we'd have a budget and we could go and do the work we want to do because we want to do it, or because Claire says, you know what, there's a school down there that would really benefit from someone come do some work with them. We can go do that work. We've got 10 grand in the kitty. How much is it going to take? 500 quid, Jill? 500 quid? Yeah, let's go do it. And that was, so it was that multi-level understanding. And the other confusing thing about collaboration, well, it applies to everything, doesn't it? You're having a party around your house, there's a certain level of collaboration. You're going on holiday together, there's a collaboration. There's a Christmas dinner, business, relationships, get a load of people to get together to do something in any one place starts to allude to, create collaboration. And that's where I think people really got confused, because it does encompass everything. You can use language for love, hate, war, fear. We can use it in so many ways. It's so powerful. So how can we create? How do we start to articulate that? And a bit like the British Standard, it's something to be challenged. Anyway, about a year ago, I think, we wrote a, who knows we have a charter. Well, you should, I suppose. So we have a charter. We've never officially launched this. So the first time this got viewed in public was the last London meeting, which was a little while ago. So, and in our charter, there's some, I'm going to pass this out, but we do BeCollaboration charter at the top, collaboration, humanity at its best. And that is something that Jill and I have been working from those principles. Us, on a good day, with the wind in the right direction, with the right people, with the right skill sets, what could we achieve? Well, we believe anything. You know, you read the vision and mission, together we're stronger, creating win-win, the language of abundance, being in it for the adventure, all those things that we were saying regularly, we wanted to put somewhere, be challenged on it, be held accountable for it, to be inspired by it. So this is the charter we wrote a little while ago, so I'll hand that out that way. But the one I want to kind of focus on, we'll read through the whole thing, but the one I want to focus on is the humanity at its best. How do you present yourself in the best way and create as much opportunity wherever you are, with whoever you are, that benefits all involved? To me, that's me at my best. That's me at my best. That's probably you at your best. Creating opportunities, contributing to people, learning something. So there's a vested interest, there's a return, there's a give. And that's where I think people get struggles. Like, well, you go into a lot of organisations, there's like a give and it goes around that way. But this sort of goes around that way and it goes around that way. It's paradoxical. So the charter says, collaboration, humanity at its best. Human being first, treat each other with humility and respect. Quite often missed. How often do we judge people by their profession, or their age, or their race, or their sex, or their some prejudice because they wore a waistcoat today? You know, we shouldn't hold that against people. I haven't even started on you yet, TC. So I'm not going to go into in depth into the charter. It's there to be read. For now, just take it home, live with it. That's not really the purpose of what I want to do. But extending and developing this notion of collaboration and humanity at its best, this next document is really where I started to think about that and develop those ideas. We've got about half an hour for this conversation, so I do want to open up to more of a discussion rather than me just presenting. But I want to start with where I always start, is context. And how is the word context evolving for you? Some of you have been here a while now. You maybe had a view of the word context when you first got involved with BeCollaboration, but how would you say the word context is evolving in your thinking, or how is it becoming a feature in your day-to-day, or how do you think about things? How's it influencing you? We'd like to just, an observation.
Okay, so for me it's about not just grabbing what I can get, but seeing how other people on their journey at the same time. It sounds very airy-fairy and altruistic, but I have learned over the years, and it's been reinforced here, that what you put out is what you get back.
Great. You know when we first started sharing this, Jill and I, people said, yeah, we like it, it's really airy-fairy, and I don't think it was. I think people couldn't hear it. And I think what happens is that there's an inbound cynicism. And one of the things I do when I work with businesses is, the first we work on is their vision and mission statement, their contextual points. And literally yesterday I was with a client, and he said, I can't write that stuff, that's the stuff I really believe. What will people think? And I went, did you just hear what you just said? And he went, yeah, I did. I'm shocked that I even said that. How afraid or contained we are not to say the things we really feel and the things we really think authentically. Like, you know, on our vision it says love. You know, remember we first just built up, love? How can you can't write love it's on the board? Yeah. So there is probably not a better word in the human language, I would have thought. Is that clear? Maybe chocolate chip ice cream.
It depends on the context.
Debs?
No, I was just thinking, for me the cynicism was there when I first came.
you know, at the orientation meeting, I was like, it's just marks, it's just, you know, it's just networking, isn't it, really? But I think what I've gained from it, especially after being inspired, is assume the best, and then the majority of the time you're pleasantly surprised. Sometimes you're not, but that's a rarity. If you treat people as if you're expecting the best from them, they tend to step up to the plate.
Wow. That's a big shift, isn't it?
Mm. You just treat people with respect, and as if you've got invested interest in doing the best for them, and they usually respond beautifully to that.
Wow. Okay, I couldn't ask for better feedback than that. So one of the things we talk about in the introduction and throughout our current cultural malaise, I don't think that's the word, our current cultural word, if you start tuning in, and I said this yesterday with a client, I said, you don't have to be a violinist to hear a note. Do you mean you don't have to, is that, was that E minor? you don't have to be a musical expert to start to hear the note. You don't. So when you're in a conversation with someone, you're just saying, where's this conversation predicated by? What's the context here? And you'll hear it. You just have to listen for it. You just have to listen. Like, for you to listen, how can I make this situation better than it already is a tone, it's a frequency of listening that you're projecting into the situation. And the return is, most of the time, you're pleasantly surprised. And the tone I hear out, say, mass media, in a lot of big organisations, big institutions, is very much fear, scarcity and competition driven. And it's for me personally, it's almost deafening. It's deafening. It's like not just listen out for it, it's like I have to shield my ears from it. That's how it sounds. You know, if I listen to the news, or you read the newspaper, listen to what it's saying, and how it's positioning this information. How is this, I would even call it violence in my world. Like the way information is presented in this context of scarcity, competition and fear. How much terrorism, or how much economic turmoil, or how many, you know, think about how much is getting presented to us that actually doesn't ignite our love and our connection, our affinity. It actually drives us further into fear, further into separation, more into competition. So think, you've got an organisation going, but we're about love and collaboration. And they go, oh, it's really fuzzy, it's really weird. No, it's not. You just can't hear it. That's why we don't say join B collaboration. People think it's some kind of sales pitch. It's not.
It's a vibrational thing, that.
Yeah, it's an attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, if this appeals to you, let us know. If it doesn't, walk on by, come back in 2 years.
It's beneficial.
No, Terry loved it from day one, no, to be fair. But you know what, we never held anyone back on that. So it's been an open invite. Choose. Where in life do you get choose? You choose. Where in life do you start an introduction that says, the context in this room is one of trust. We trust you to do what's best for you. I mean, I know Paul to be a very busy person. And is this your second time you visited? Second, and we've met you many times. Sorry, do you mind if I introduce you, Paul?
No.
Paul's from Barclays. He runs a team of managers, and I got asked to go and talk to a team of managers, about 6-7 months ago, me and you. It was a while back now. And we haven't been pressurising in the conversation, we've been open, we've been developing that trust with Paul. He's asked questions, we've answered, we're working on developing that. And some of the ways that I go about developing collaborative relationships is in this document, and I want to explain it to you guys now. Is anybody stuck on a question or something I've said, or is there anything you want to just share before we move on?
Can I just say how this impacted the audit? Because it will have some bearing on this. One of the things the standard asks for is how do you instill and ensure collaborative behaviours? Now, if you imagine two corporate entities predicated on scarcity, competition and fear, how would you demonstrate to an auditor that you're going to instill collaborative behaviours? There were some things that we collaborators already doing which made it very easy to demonstrate in the standard. And the Charter's one of them. Because, again, it talks to the corporate word, they talk about risk assessment. Even those words are predicated on scarcity and fear. But everything that collaboration is doing from this charter onwards is a form of risk assessment in the old way it's understood. Because we're filtering all the time. So when people get to the actual point of a group or a venture, the collaboration side's already sorted. Because you wouldn't be here at that point unless you've gone through this process. So what for an auditor was a very tricky angle of the standard in a normal corporate world was so easy to demonstrate here. Because the skills and behaviours culminating in how to collaborate workshop, corporates won't be doing that sort of thing, or it'll be a different model. It really helped the auditor get to understand that this is a different organisation. And those things have been approached in a totally different way. The charter was massive.
So and I'm going to drive this home a bit. So context, believe it or not, is key, right? So if it's like the word collaboration, it's a bit like an all-encompassing word, like context is. It covers everything, and that's the frustration. It covers everything, and it's all invasive, isn't it? So if you live or operate from a sense of fear, scarcity, and competition, and you can demonstrate fear in scarcity as much as like who's got loads of free time? How time poor, even if we're not, because we've all got the same amount in reality, how time poor do we generally feel most of the time? You ask people, how are you? Oh, busy, I've been busy. And then Be Inspired, we ask, why so busy? And we talk about why, some of what I consider to be the reasons why we're so busy. And this document kind of says, slow, and I kind of love you for this, Claire, it's like, slow down. You don't have to get together and make babies straight away with your commercial or your business opportunities. Take some time over it and look at how we've nurtured Simon. Now, you may think Simon...
You make me sound like a special project.
But you are. You are.
You won a competition.
but seriously, you are a special project. Every one of you, for me and Jill, and now the accomplices, our members, our community, you are a special project. When you first came, we didn't go, come on join, come on join. You said, I need to go away and think about this, and you did. And then you came back again, and you listened again. And for quite a few months, you said, I still don't get this, I still don't get it. Now, you're at the front of the room, leading our digital, probably one of the most critical parts of our organisation are in your hands, man. Do you think we just let that happen?
Probably not.
No.
There's a pom-pom in his top.
That's a pom-pom.
I'm now ready to have Erkan's babies.
This is one. This is on video, by the way.
I'm wearing this with pride.
And I would say the same for every one of you. I mean, anyone that actually has participated in Be Inspired knows that's the commitment I bring to that program. Is that every person gets over the line. No one left behind. And I remember Glenn saying to me, how do you know you can get me to my genius? I said, because I said so. That's my commitment. No kidding. I will get you, I will be everything I can be, muster everything I've got to get you over the line so you get who you are for yourself. And that is my gift to you forever. What a privilege for me and Jill to make that contribution. And in turn, look what we're going to achieve. Are achieving. And that starts somewhere. And do you remember, who remembers the old introduction? We used to have a big egg and a sperm. We used to have a big egg and a sperm. So when does collaboration happen? When the egg and the sperm meet. But how often do we walk away from that and don't turn it into something? How many people have had children? Your child isn't born and you walk away. Your child's born and you're with it forever. Who notices on the website and in the introduction we've got the red circle with the blue bits? And Be Inspired, we go into why that's the case. But consider, we talk about a concept called ephemerisation, and the ultimate ephemerisation in our view is love. We don't really have anything written down, do we? We've only got love and trust and affinity and the will to explore. Andrew, look at everything you've done for the British Standard. You've done it on pure contribution, love and commitment. And mutual respect. We don't have anything else. Well, we have a British Standard now, but we didn't have that before. We didn't have that before. That's what had someone from Darlington come all the way down here to do a 1 hour contribution. And is to about how do we set that up in Darlington. Do you see what we're doing here? It's very different, very powerful. And we're all learning, we're learning. So, let's just go through some of the basics. So, the outcome of scarcity, competition and fear is the notion or the experience of fragmented, atomized experience in life. We feel vulnerable. It's like being in a small boat at sea when we're atomized. I bet there's people in this room who've been part of big corporates. You come out on your own, how did that feel at the beginning?
Like shocking.
Big change. I went from owning my own businesses with 30, 40, 45 people, sold them all out, and so I'm going, I can do better on my own. And the first 18 months, year, I was lost. I didn't know who I was. Who am I without all that? Who's been there? So now we're out there in that little boat on our own as consultants, small businesses. We're vulnerable, we feel everything. Our biggest impact of that is our mood and the personal experiences we have. Client doesn't pay you, company goes bust. You have I think you said earlier on, you take it personally if someone's not happy with their website. It's not a bit of work, it's your art. Going back to Seth Godin and the Icarus deception, it's your art. This is who you've chosen to become. So how do we make the most of that small boat and create a big boat that we're all part of and draw strength off that? Because there's more to, then who do you become when you're out? When I'm out and about, and I know I'm going to speak on your behalf, is I know if I'm out and about and I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing, I'm representing everyone here. Now obviously from my point of view, I literally am, because Jill and I are being, but now it's not like that, is it? We've got British Standard, we've got accomplices coming up, we've got people heading up digital.
You really have to behave now.
Yeah, you really have to just check what's on what stays on Facebook. So how do I go about it? So first of all, number one, pay attention. By that I mean be present. So I practice the art of synchronicity, law of attraction, and I take on something called being in the flow. Things have got to be easy for me. If I'm trying to convince someone of something, or I'm trying to get them to do something, do you know what? I just don't want to work that hard. So having that as part of the way you operate is actually, like you said, if you look at things in a positive way, you pull the, how can I make a difference? Most of the time you're pleasantly surprised, because you're not operating in scarcity. There's no loss. You can't lose. There's just transference of energy and information. Just a bit of data. Do you know? You either get the deal or you don't get the deal. You either get the girl or you don't get the girl, or the guy, or whatever. Alright? Be awake. Opportunities are everywhere. It's a matter of context. Keep your eyes open, ears and heart open. How many people here would you say that you actively engage heart when you go about your day-to-day life? Yeah? Yeah? And when you get it right, how does it feel? It feels great, doesn't it? And we're humans, sometimes we fall off that bike. Yeah? So this idea of being present and in the moment and noticing opportunities is a massive payback for me personally. It has produced so many opportunities that at the moment we are underneath or within the presence of so many opportunities that we really have to be managing those opportunities carefully. There's not enough, there's too many right now. We're dealing with that breakdown. Breakdown to breakthrough, right? You reach that limit. Does everyone understand what I mean by that? So the metaphor I use is like driving along in second gear up the M1 at 35 miles an hour, and the gearbox, the engine's screaming. You need to get into third gear. You don't know what third gear is until you hit the limit, and that's part of growth. We predicate that. So any questions about staying present, being present? I mean, there's some real experts in the room. I mean, how do you get present? Does anyone, so that's something I want to go into a bit more detail, or actually I'm going to move on because we've got lots to go through. Yeah, okay. If you want to know more about that, speak to Claire. Start and manage the process. I've got there 100% you're zero. Think about eBay. You set up an eBay account. eBay give you 100% up front, don't they? See, when I go into I want to stand up here. So when I go into a relationship, I don't go in, well, I'll give you 5% and see how it goes, okay? Jerry, you get 5% too. I'll give you 6%. And see how it goes. That's how we do relationships a lot of the time, right? I don't do that. I go 100%. 100% up front. There you go. Let's take it. That's my commitment to you, your life, your family, your friends, your business. I'm 100% into who you are, who you're being, not all my time and effort, but who I'm being, I'm 100%. I aim for that. I don't leave it to chance in my relationship. That's why, for me, how I'd explain your relationship with me, Terry, is I haven't seen you for 18 months maybe. You walk through the door, I love you just as much as I did last time I saw you.
I love you, Mike.
101%. And that's really powerful, it's really attractive. It's like the eBay giving you 100% up front. It's there for you now to protect. Now, does that mean I don't do my due diligence? I don't, pay attention? If someone can't be on time for a meeting, or lies to me, or tells me fibs, I'm not an idiot. But I'm still 100% committed. But maybe not to the same things. But still 100%. So that's a big part of it. So if I get a business card, or I make a contact with someone, these are just basic housekeeping things. Some of you do it, most people don't. Connect with people, get them on LinkedIn, social media, look them up on YouTube. Check out their blogs, add them to your mailing list, connect to their mailing list. Right? Create credibility with them, be great with people, share your good stuff. How stingy are we sometimes as society? Be known, we say, we'll share our best stuff, you better use it. In most communities you say, I'll share my best stuff, you better not use it. But we say, no, I'll share my best stuff, you better use it. Use it, take it. This is my best stuff. Really important, stay judgment free. We are so judgmental. Whether you think you're not, or you think you are, or you're not, or you are, or you're not, you are. You're not, right? You are. Just notice that you are. And be judgment free. There's a difference, right? We are judgmental. Older English guys, got to be racist. I don't have that now. I used to. Jill. I used to live in that world. Older white people are all racist. Most white people are racist. Look at the room. I'm surrounded with white people.
Men are all sexist.
Men are all sexist. Deep down in the background is that conversation. Notice them. Or notice how you judge someone. Can they be of any value to me? Can I sell them something? Who does that one? And if you could get back to, when you go back to a networking event and you look at the card and you go, oh, he won't buy my stuff right away. He won't buy my stuff right away. Yeah? Do you do that?
No. Used to.
Yeah. I don't do that.
You were the one who made the comment about the waistcoat.
Is, be judgment free. You never know what seed. Remember, human being first. You're a human being first. So it doesn't matter what you think or what their opinion of them up front that you noticed that you had about them. Park it. Just get to the human being and manage that relationship. And it may turn into something. If you plant the seed and you nurture it and you put water on it and you look after it, you don't have to talk to people every week. You could send an email out once every 3 months. Join them on Facebook, on LinkedIn, send a message out. That's the start of that process. Also, notice what stops you. Who here looks out for what stops them? Manage it. What stops you? What's your thing? I don't have the time. Oh, my CRM system's no good. They probably won't like me. I'm not good enough for them. Because those things that are stopping you are always stopping you. They're just your thing. Who's got a thing? What stops you? Come on, first up.
Lack of British standards.
But let's get a bit more insightful. Let's make it personal. What stops you? Fear. How about apathy? Cynicism? Resignation? How about some kind of judgment about yourself or them?
I'd be surprised if people here had that because we've all made the effort to come here today. So therefore we're all doers, aren't we?
And how many cards are on your desk that you've met people in the last week that you've done nothing with? Touche, yeah? You feel me?
When you're too busy doing other things, you have to prioritise your time.
So that's very good. So consider that is part of what stops you. Now, I'm not saying do anything with it or not, but notice it.
If in the first thing in the morning you know you've got phone calls to make to people you've never met, or just tidy up something in the corner of the office, you tend to go down the office.
And I bet there's something quite confrontational or confronting about phoning people you've never met. So it's a chance to grow.
It's not comfortable, is it?
No, exactly. That's the point I'm making. So I'm not saying that that person or that content is necessarily really viable, necessary or not. I'm not making that judgment. I'm saying notice what stops you. Notice what stops you developing those relationships, or putting them into your CRM, or putting them into your database, or connecting with people. Really, it's easier now than it's ever been. But just notice what stops you. Number 3, engage face to face. You know, once you've got a few contacts in the database, is engage. Make a time to meet with people. How do you think I met Jill? We met at an NLP 2-day workshop. We exchanged cards, and in my mind, I developed that relationship from that point.
Yeah, it stops me.
Still does.
Yeah, can't get rid of it.
So that's the history of this. That's why you're all here now, because I did that. So you never know what will come out of it. And she was just some person I met. I wasn't particularly, don't get me wrong, I'll be careful.
Yeah.
But I wasn't particularly impressed or not impressed. It wasn't a particularly memorable encounter.
Coming out now.
She's ever so close, you know.
But it wasn't. It wasn't like, oh, Jill Tiny, I just met this amazing person, I've got to stay in touch. I didn't do that. I just put her into my database, made a phone call, connected, shared some ideas about where I was at. She went, that's a really great idea, and I went, you really think so? Let's meet up. It was nothing.
At the point of just answering that, when I met Erkan, I had to stop my prejudice because I saw a typical salesman when I met him, and I had to take that away in order to hear what he had to say to me when we did have the phone conversation in the one-to-ones. So,
Even worse. But see, my point is, look, none of us would be here, none of us would be doing British Standard, none of us would be doing Be Inspired, none of us would be doing Be a Voice, none of us would be doing any of what we're doing right now if it hadn't been for me putting that card in my act back then, making a phone call and following up with you. We wouldn't be here today. Not in the way it happened. That's what I mean by don't judge it. You don't know. You have no idea who you're meeting and for what reason.
and at the same point, we didn't know where it was going to go, did we? We stayed in flow. We just let's see what happens. It's interesting, it's fun. We're enjoying this process and where we're going to.
And think about it, you were competition. She's a coach, I'm a coach. It weren't like we were getting in touch like, you're going to be a client of mine, or I'm going to be a client of yours. It was, I've got some ideas and I'll share them. And we just maintain that. Do you see the possibility in that? And there'll probably be a number of relationships you've got in your current database, clients, friends, people that could help you that are dormant in your database, and they could be very valuable. And in terms of building big collaboration, be increasingly valuable. You know, so that's it. Get face to face, have a cuppa. I buy lunch quite often. Just what I do. Usually, if I've called on a meeting, I'll just buy lunch. So, Paul, when you're ready, we'll have lunch. Okay? I do that because I believe, and I think if you look at Sinek, and you look at a lot of time in Sinek, people like that, they talk about feed your people around you. And I think there is feed them with knowledge, feed them with love, but also buy people a cup of coffee. Buy them a sandwich. It's 15 quid, 2 coffees and a sandwich, and you never know what the relationship will turn into. It's a really great gesture.